Another war recap video. Like I said in the last video, we knew this one was going to be rough just going into it, and sure enough it was. They kicked our ass, 39 to 35, 94% to 84%, and we knew, like, even at the beginning of the prep day, we looked at all the basins and said, wow, these basins are really well set up. A lot of us were overmatched. We knew we were going to have a rough time with it. We stuck with our strategy though, attacking our opposites and then cleaning up from there. But just, we were hoping maybe their offense wouldn't be as good as their defenses were, but really good clan, level 6 clan, Asian clan. They always have a lot of, they usually give most people issues. So check the map here. We'll go to our side first. And, 2-star on our top guy, a lot of issues there. So that's setting you up when you get your tunnel 10 at the top, 2-star. It's kind of putting you behind the power curve, hard to come back from. So coming down, and they 3-starred a lot of the way up. Had a couple guys that gave him some problems. Drive shaft gave him a little bit of issues, and then also jugs down here at the bottom gave him some issues. We'll check those in a minute, just to see exactly what they did. So this war we had a couple guys that, with some kings out, they were upgrading kings. And we forced in a couple guys, some accounts that aren't really active right now, just to kind of be able to win war with 15, and then also, forcing in some weaker accounts. It's not impossible to cover for them. It does make us lose some attacks, but generally we're able to cover for them. Just this war, it was just too much. We just, so much degraded firepower and just not enough people left to cover, so gave us some issues. So checking their map, didn't even attack the top guy. Really nice 3-star here by Lieutenant Dan on the top guy. We're going to watch that attack later on. But just, some bases that gave us issues. This number 5 over here, gave us a lot of issues. Beaker was only able to get a 1-star on it, and that was the best attack, a 1-star, 66%. So really tough defense on 5. 11 obviously gave us some issues. Actually, 11 should have been 3-starred, but we had a couple guys not attack. So that really hurt us there, having them not show up. So checking the stats. 4 lost attacks, never good when you don't even get a star on 4 of the attacks, and then having 4 attacks remaining, that's pretty rare for us. 2 of them we expected because of the account that we forced in. The other 2 we really needed those attacks. Still wouldn't have got us the win, but definitely might have helped made the cleanup easier and possibly gone up and pushed and got a little bit closer. Beat him in new stars per attack, but when you don't use all your attacks, it's just not gonna be able to handle it. So checking our teams, 6 stars by Lieutenant Dan, pretty good there. A failed attack by me on that number 5. Possibly could have maybe saved some troops and got a 1-star, but we always go for 3, and sometimes when you go for 3, you end up with either none or 1. A lot of the strategies that are used, just they're boom or bust. So coming back down through, another 6 stars by Jugs, so really good there. Chad actually able to hold his own. I think his king was also upgrading, so being able to get 90% in his first attack, and then 3 stars on a cleanup. Granted, it's their bottom guy, but still without a king makes it tougher. So check the defenses. Nothing too special up top, but drive. A defense, and took him 4 attacks to get that 99%. 2-star. Only ended up with 2-star, but I guess after that they just said, okay, that's a high enough percentage 2-star, so in case of a tie, it's really good for him. And then coming down, Jugs, getting only 2-starred on 5 tries, so a pretty good defense there, and it took their number 5 guy to come all the way down and get that 2-star, so really good there. Nothing too special down at the bottom though. Alright, so checking the enemy team. Top guy, really good, 94% on me, 2-star on Lieutenant Dan, 6 stars by their number 3. They all seem to attack down a little bit, but I think they're probably communicating as far as who they're going to attack. At first it looked like they were all going to attack down 2, as you'll see in some of these bottom ones. Number 9 attacked down 2, number 12 and 13, or actually number 12 and 14 both attacked down 2, and number 11 attacked down 2. So at first, and they were some of the first attacks, so at first we were like, okay, they're all going to attack down 2, but it was working. They're getting 3 stars, so We were a little bit worried from the outset. And their bottom guy here, you know, number 15, attacking up to 12 and 9. And getting 6 stars, so really good there. Defenses. Again, top guy not even attacked. Some cleanups up high, but number 5 gave some trouble. You know, took 3 tries to even just get 1 star out of it, so pretty rough there. Number 9 obviously giving us some problems at first until Arv comes in and cleans it up. And we're actually gonna watch that attack. There's a couple key things I want to point out from his attack there, so we're gonna watch that one. So let's begin these replays. So we're gonna come over here, and as always, we're gonna do the most heroic. So another most heroic by Flo Flo, Flo Jr. See, they got some anchors down at the bottom, but you know, only 2 air defenses and dragons against Town Hall 7. Again, most people at this level would choose the 3 lightnings and then just swarm the other air defense, but she goes with the rages. I mean, either one, Town Hall 7. You know, going with dragons it's just overpowered, especially bringing the CC full of balloons. So just comes in here and just, you know, swarms it, comes in from the top, goes against the sweeper, which, you know, we haven't really seen too much, but it was close enough that, you know, you could get to both the air defenses. And if you come in from the bottom side, there's too much high HP buildings, too much chance of the dragons wrapping around, so she decided to come in straight as close to it and just deal with the sweeper. But again, just way too much power at this level. Nothing Town Hall 7 can really do. So all the air defenses are down. Nothing is even up left that can hurt the dragon. So this is definitely, you know, locked in the bag. So we're going to speed it up. So she's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 on each side, and it looks like 4 in the middle. So it looks like 8 dragons left still alive. So 8 out of 10 dragons still alive. Only lost 2. Pretty good. And just comes up here and cleans up at the end. Alright, so good job, Flo. So now we're just going to start at the top. We're going to work our way down. Actually, we'll start from the bottom, work our way up. So we'll start with Arv's attack here, number 9. And again, there's a couple things I want to point out. He's a Town Hall 8.5, going against Town Hall 8. Very overpowered the Hogs, and it's a cleanup attack, so he knew both those skeleton traps were there, so he could trigger those skeleton traps early so they're not pestering his Hogs later, and get the CC pull. And he decides to draw them up top here. And this is the first point that I want to point out, is he draws them up top, gets everybody mostly consolidated, and drops that poison. But he sees that not everybody's in there, so he actually does a smart thing and drops a barbarian in there to bring the rest of the CC up towards him, which brings that wizard and that dragon into the poison. So really good recognition of that, and making the troops go where he wants them to go. And as soon as that wizard goes down, you know, he drops his CC troops to kill that dragon. And with no wizards or any other CC troops left, there's just too many tanks, too many skeletons for that dragon to deal with. And then he starts his hog attack, semi-mass, semi-surgical as usual for him. And knowing perfect placement on these heals, knowing right where that giant bomb is, they're going to get hit, but then they're right there at that mortar, getting healed back up. So no issues there. Covers most of the defenses and covers right where those Hogs are going. Take out some of these outlying buildings and drops a 3rd perfect heal right here where there's 3 defenses, and most of his Hogs are converging on this area. So really good placement of that heal, and it's also right there where that king is kind of beating on him a little bit. So excellent placements on the heals. And the second thing I wanted to point out is, you know, scouting a base like he did, knowing where everything was going to be, planning it out, and dropping perfect heals and perfect troop placement. Just all those little things, they add up. And when you do all those little things really well, you know, granted it's an 8.5 going against an 8, but it's a pretty well close to maxed 8 with some pretty good defenses. No double giant bomb. Well, actually, there is a double giant bomb. Look at that right there. But it wasn't pathed very well. But when you do all those things, I mean, he only used 3 of his heals. He still had an extra swag heal sitting that he could have just dropped on, you know, in a corner or on Town Hall. So didn't even need that last heal. So really good job there. Alright, so next we're going to watch my attack against number 8. And granted, it's number 2 coming against number 8. But I wanted to highlight it because it's an attack strategy that so far only I'm using. And I've only used it a few times. but it's turning out to be a really powerful attack strategy. When you put your air defenses centered like this, it's just begging for this new GoVaLo attack. I don't know how new it is to the game. I don't imagine too new, but it's new to us and new to me. But it's really very super powerful and actually fairly easy to do. So I dropped the golem in there, obviously, to distract the low defenses and the queen. Get a nice funnel going where wizards destroy all those buildings. As soon as those buildings go down, I drop the Valkyries in there, rage them up, heal them up. Got a little bit nervous with that jump spell because it actually did touch that right wall. And all those buildings, I was worried those Valkyries were going to go in there. But thankfully, that Tesla popped there in the top, and they actually went through there. So get the heal going in the middle. And even with that dragon, those healed Valkyries, they have enough health to survive at a dragon attack, and they get healed right back up because that dragon is so slow. And those Valkyries just come into that middle. And with that big open core and those Valkyries in there, they just do so much damage in such a wide area. Everything in the middle just gets destroyed. So once those air defenses started going down, obviously, I started my balloons coming in. Just taking out that outer ring of defenses. That right air defense was giving me some trouble in these balloons, but the Valkyries eventually get in there and they take it out. And I mean, all the defenses are down at this point, so now it's nothing but cleanup. I start dropping a couple of minions around on the sides and some of these buildings the balloons are farther away from, just to make sure I don't run out of time. And it's just cleanup at this point. Still got some Valkyries running around. My queen decided to go rogue at the beginning. She's actually supposed to be the CC handler. But she never actually went into the middle with everybody else. The Valkyries just got so far out ahead of her that her closest targets were in those side compartments. But she's barely even touched. So she kind of did her own thing, but it did help with the cleanup in the end. And, you know, balloons make great cleanup because they can one or two shot most buildings. Valkyries are great cleanup, and I still got a half a dozen of those alive. So very powerful attack, it seems like. So I'm really liking that GoVaLo and get a little bit more practice. I want to see how many wars I can actually use it in. So everybody, you know, everybody we fight, please keep putting your air defenses in the middle like that. And you're just begging me to come in there and GoVaLo you. All right, so now we're going to check the one more attack. We're going to check this 3-star by Lieutenant Dan. And it's just pretty much a simple GoWiPe, but one thing I wanted to highlight here is the kind of the power of bringing 2 jump spells. A lot of people might be tempted with 5 spells to either bring a freeze or to bring an extra heal or an extra rage, but I really like that he brings 2 jump spells because that lets him get into the core. And then a lot of problems is once you get into that core, you still have a half circle or a quarter circle of defenses still kind of hitting you. And especially with these powerful walls that this guy has, you know, your troops can get stuck just trying to break their way out of the core to get to his defenses. So he does a really good job of telling his troops exactly where he wants to go. Lava Hound in the CC, not a big issue. More of a distraction than anything, but, you know, he's got enough wizards. So they get in there and, you know, heal everybody up, take out the core. And then look where he drops that jump spell. He drops it right there and covers every single one of those sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. Maybe if it had been a bit higher, he might have been able to get that last one up top, but I don't know if they would have been able to get out of that core. But 5 sections all covered with that jump spell, just giving everybody access to everything. And allows him to take out so much of the base without having to go through walls. Really good placement on that, really good strategy to bring that instead of an extra rage or heal or even a freeze. So, you know, getting his troops in here now, and his heroes were actually weaker than this person's heroes, if you notice at the beginning. He's only got 13 and 16. The other one, I know the Archer Queen was over 20. I didn't catch what the King was. So really good attack. And now, you know, these Max P.E.K.K.A.s just coming in here, and even with that Tesla kind of beating him up, you know, there's just too much health left that there's not enough he can do. So as soon as his Tesla goes down, we'll speed this up, because that's really the only threat left, and obviously he gets the 3-star, but just to kind of watch, and that goes down so quickly that, you know, now he's got a P.E.K.K.A. almost at full health, the King's almost at full health, another P.E.K.K.A. at about half health, and only an Archer Tower that goes down right there, and now pretty much just a cannon left to deal with all these high HP guys. So we'll speed this up, take out that storage, and then just beat through the wall, and take out the cannon, and you've got the wizards coming from the top side. So really, really nice attack.